comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way he represent the idea of going to these projects.
I blame everybody that's in his circle. They're all means and they want to be like him.
But the Fresh Prince sets the record straight on where he really stands with Combs, formerly known as Puff Daddy or Puffy early in his career, saying he's not jiggy with the freak-offs or baby oil, in fact.
I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop.
Fresh off his global fame, Justin Bieber now finds himself entangled in a secret web spun by music's most powerful figures, Will Smith, Diddy, Clive Davis, and 50 Cent, with 50 allegedly holding video evidence of what really went down behind closed doors. The story is only getting hotter. Why is he so determined to expose it now? From mysterious late-night texts missing from Bieber's phone to whispered deals at Hollywood parties and one explosive clip insiders claim could flip the entire industry, the truth runs far deeper than anyone imagines. Did Will Smith witness something he wasn't meant to see? Was Clive Davis pulling unseen strings? And what's really at stake for Diddy if the footage ever leaks? Buckle up once we dive in. There's no turning back.
Diddy pressing Bieber.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Like, I'm calling you and answering.
Yeah, that was a little.
That was weird. That was weird.
They did not run through Bieber at that point.
Still was pressing him like, why you not answering your phone? Like, yo.
Yeah. Like, I don't got a video of me fingering you.
He wasn't answering for a reason.
He was like, I don't ever last time because you did things to me. They want to mean something, and what will make them mean something in the environment is if they can connect to the violence. They all want it to make it, so they're gonna make their value in that. And even when the artist becomes successful coming out of that environment, you're gonna have people around him that he feels secure about being around, because he know that when they travel in these different neighborhoods that there may be something there, but he knows that this person right here will do it regardless of what. So they bring that person. And without acknowledging it, that person needs them to have altercations, for them to need them to be around. That is what is going to potentially bring you down. So when I say that to them, they go, so he's saying it's going to be me that brings me down. Yeah, if you don't adjust and really make the right decisions as you move forward, you are.
Justin might have not been some rebellious pop star going through a, so-called bad boy phase. He was a kid who had been surrounded by powerful figures in the industry, some of whom clearly didn't have his best interests at heart. And that, of course, brings us to Diddy. From the very beginning, Diddy took a special interest in Justin. The extravagant gifts, the 48-hour mentorship, it all seemed like an industry cosign at the time. But looking back, was it really just that, or was there something deeper going on behind the scenes? Then years later, we see Bieber break down in an interview, talking about wanting to protect another young artist, Billie Eilish, from the same things he went through. And now, in the wake of Diddy's arrest, he's reportedly distancing himself completely, staying silent, and doing everything he can to separate himself from that past.
You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does.
While Bieber is reportedly having a hard time processing his history with the fallen music mogul, quote, his happiness being a dad has outweighed his anxiety about Diddy. Much remains unclear about Bieber's time with Diddy, and many of these questions may ultimately go unanswered. Online sleuths will surely continue to read between the lines, but for now, speculation is all we have to go on.
To a lot of us, he's like a little brother.
It seems two things are for certain, however. Diddy was once somebody that Bieber looked up to. Now, not so much. What once seemed like a 15-year-old's dream has become a nightmare for everyone involved.
From the very start, 50 Cent has been relentless with his trolling, and things reached a peak after Will Smith's San Diego concert on December 13th. In the middle of his performance, Smith suddenly paused to make it clear almost desperately that he had nothing to do with Diddy, distancing himself from the chaos surrounding Diddy's September arrest. He even threw in a jab, joking about not liking baby oil, a pointed reference to the stash reportedly found during the March raids on Combs' properties.
Will Smith claps back at memes of him and Sean Diddy Combs and speaks out for the first time about his history with the music mogul. The Oscar winner took the stage at the Observatory North Park in San Diego December 12th, and during a break in the show, the rapper called out memes he'd seen online trolling his past association with Combs, who is currently in jail awaiting trial on sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges. Videos of the moment have been posted online showing Will telling the sold-out crowd, "The world we're in right now, it's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true. I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. Some of it's funny." But the Fresh Prince sets the record straight on where he really stands with Combs, formerly known as Puff Daddy or Puffy early in his career, saying he's not jiggy with the freak-offs or baby oil, in fact.
Raided his house, found all manner of stuff. They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Let's be clear here. Diddy is a monster. Diddy is the devil, right? The 1,000 bottles alone was enough for me to lock him up forever. Are you drinking it? 1,000 bottles.
How does 50 Cent respond? Exactly as you'd expect, he grabbed that clip, ran with it, laughed along with memes he didn't even need to make, and spun the whole thing into free promo for his new Roku channel, 50 Cent Action. But why the sudden surge of heat? Simple, this feud's been simmering for nearly 2 decades. From diss tracks to social media jabs and public digs, 50 and Diddy have been trading shots for years. Now, with Diddy buried under a mountain of lawsuits, 50 is not just stirring the pot, he's diving straight in.
But the world we're in right now is really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true.
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell.
And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes.
That wasn't me, man.
I see the memes.
I'll put that up there, but that wasn't me.
No, some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny.
You like that? That shit was funny, right?
But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop it.
To do with Puffy. #1 channel on Roku right now.
What made you think of this?
No, I was trying to get ready so I don't have to answer to nobody. The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot,
To us, Black excellence,
that had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there yeah. It's the billionaire brunch.
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Come on, bro.
Hey, this is the funniest thing online right now. 50 Cent every day wake up and take shots at Diddy on Instagram. We all see that, right? Everybody know that 50 Cent loved to poke fun at Diddy being, who Diddy is, allegedly. But this is funny. 50 reposted this on his Instagram. I guess nowadays, instead of kids saying no H-O-M-O, you know how we used to say when we was kids and now it's pause. I think the new thing that kids are saying, that's what the internet is saying, the new thing kids are saying is no Diddy instead of all that stuff. And 50 posted this. Check this out. This is what people saying on Twitter. It says, I put all my guys in positions, no Diddy. So apparently, instead of saying no H-O-M-O, kids are now saying no Diddy. So 50 reposted this on his Instagram and he captioned it this. This is what he said. He said, oh, I F with son, that's my man, no Diddy.
The one with Diddy and Jay-Z walking around with the...
Oh, that I think that's an apps. Looks like a little app.
That was AI?
That was AI.
Yeah, you know what I do? I look at it, it comes across my feed and I'm laughing at it. And then I go, oh no. People will fall out if I post that. I'm going to post that. And I just do it.
Let's rewind for a second. Justin Bieber's rise was the stuff of modern legend, discovered on YouTube, guided by Usher and Scooter Braun, and launched into instant teen superstardom. Along that meteoric climb, he crossed paths with Sean Diddy Combs, who publicly praised him, but according to some, there was something much darker behind the scenes. 50 Cent's latest bombshell? He claims Diddy used Bieber, introducing him to powerful industry figures who could make or break a career, and 50 isn't just talking. He's hinting he's got the footage to prove it.
We finally got in contact. This guy contacted us named Scooter, who's my manager now, and basically stalked us a little bit, kind of got in contact with us, and finally my mom was calling him back to, say, listen, stop calling me. And he was like, I really see a lot in your son. Like, I can help you guys. And my mom was really skeptical at first. They ended up talking for a couple hours, and he knew some lawyers that we could talk to and stuff. So we ended up flying to Atlanta free of charge, just for him to, check us out and get to know us. And
this is Scooter.
Yes, yeah. This is Scooter, and we ended up signing a deal with Usher a couple months later.
Yeah. Well, everything from my good friend and brother from another mother, Scooter, Samuel Ron, and just really the philanthropic work that we do as entertainers gives credence, and it actually is evidence that we do give back. A lot of what we do is about fulfilling dreams. Well, that reality goes far and beyond just music. There's tons of people who need access to proper education, and I think that being an advocate for change and proper education, Scooter's definitely done it. And if not only being able to facilitate opportunities along with his brother, and introduce Justin Bieber into the really important, valuable.
A victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this shit is, because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They not seeing the victim. They not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that.
I was gonna just
Justin Bieber wants to talk. He signed that where a lot of millions he would have to pay if he goes ahead and talks.
Now there was
shout out to Justin. Justin, holler at me. I'll get you all the information. We ain't got to tell the press. Just get at me, Justin. I want to cry for you and with you, Justin. You did not deserve it. And Usher, you about to get your ass kicked because you took him over there and you knew what Diddy was going to do to him.
Well, I mentioned that earlier. That he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
It sounds wild, almost too wild to believe, but it strikes right at a deep, unshakable fear that young, ambitious artists are treated like pawns by powerful players with money, influence, and zero accountability. 50 Cent, never one to shy away from controversy, has been quick to draw a line claiming he's living celibate this year, never took part in Diddy's infamous parties, and that his own lifestyle is downright simple compared to the chaos orbiting around Combs.
Something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like when people don't remember being violated for 20 years.
No, you're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got this my past. I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the drug to perform. So she can remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work?
What the yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good.
Where things really spiral in just a few short months. Diddy's been buried under a tidal wave of accusations, multiple civil suits, half a dozen in a single week, with even more anonymous claims reaching back to the 90s. The Cassie case hit the hardest. She accused him of abuse. He denied it, and the two settled quietly behind closed doors. But while the dust seemed to settle, the industry itself stayed eerily silent. According to 50 Cent, there's a reason for that. Tapes reportedly seized during the raids might show other high-profile names tangled in the chaos, too afraid to speak out for fear of being exposed.
And we have breaking news to bring you at this time. Sean Diddy Combs facing 2 additional criminal charges in the sprawling sex trafficking case against him. The new accusations are part of a superseding indictment filed today. Federal prosecutors charge Combs with a new count of sex trafficking and an additional count of transportation to engage in prostitution. That brings the total number of federal charges against Combs to 5. He has pleaded not guilty. His trial in Manhattan federal court is set to start on May 5th.
As Sean Diddy Combs awaits his racketeering and sex trafficking trial in a Brooklyn jail, federal prosecutors now adding 2 more charges to his indictment on Friday. The charges allege the hip-hop mogul forced a woman to engage in sex acts for money as recently as last year, and that Combs helped transport her and others to engage in prostitution. Now, prosecutors say they expect 4 accusers to testify against him at the trial, now set for May. Combs has pled not guilty and denies all charges.
50 Cent just recently did an interview. And during this interview, he says that the reason why people are quiet about Diddy is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what's on tape.
Facts. Feds say they got a video of a male sex worker being sexually assaulted by him, and they trying to identify him from the footage. Think about that.
Are you saying of Diddy?
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk about the parties? Because I know people want to bring up the parties all the time. I'm the one that told you I was there. You didn't find out from any other source. I ain't never been to a freak off. I've never been to any party in Hollywood ever where there was something sexual happening. Ever. So you got to understand what you won't understand, because you're a Christian. Why would you even go to that function? What you don't understand is that it's similar to being invited to a barbecue. A bunch of people going out there in the backyard, having some drinks, talking, engaging, politicking, networking. That's all it was. That's literally what it was. It was nothing chaotic and crazy. I mean, there were so many people there. It's like if I said, hey man, I'm having a little kickback at my house, everybody in Atlanta's invited, and you walk into my house and you see Philip Anthony Mitchell over there and you see T.I. That could be a realistic situation. Would you then condemn Philip Anthony Mitchell for being in the same party with T.I.?
Can you believe we're just weeks away from Diddy going on trial? And the stakes are high. Not only has Diddy been in jail since his September arrest, but it's officially confirmed his ex-girlfriend Cassie is expected to take the stand to testify against him. She won't be testifying under the moniker Jane Doe. Instead, she's planning on using her own name. However, federal prosecutors say Diddy's other alleged victims won't be doing the same. I'm Elizabeth Milner with Law and Crime. Our analysts have suspected for a while that Cassie Ventura is indeed victim number one. Now, the allegations laid out in Diddy's federal indictment match almost to a T her federal lawsuit against her ex, which was settled a day after filing. But since then, Diddy has faced 2 more superseding indictments, and now more victims have been added. But federal prosecutors say testifying under their real names would cause them significant embarrassment, anxiety, and social stigma.
Chessa, why now? Why is 50 Cent dropping all this chaos in the form of a high-stakes documentary? Part of it comes down to timing. The legal noose around Diddy is tightening fast. He's pleaded not guilty, been denied bail 3 times, and is set to face trial in May 2025. But it's also a savvy business move. In the streaming age, nothing grabs attention like a scandal and explosive expos mean clicks, subscribers, and serious cash. 50 is already teasing tell-all interviews with insiders from those infamous parties, claiming they're finally ready to speak this time, without fear holding them back.
But did you ever see anything where it was out of line, where you said, I think this guy likes men, or I think he likes certain things that's a little weird?
Well, he didn't start off like that. I'm quite sure somebody taught him that, and that's more deep in the industry. These guys who got involved with a lot of people who was their mentors, it was done to them, they do to the next person. So I felt that Puffy was a regular, normal guy. It goes on and on. Where did it start from? Major executives who run these labels.
That's actually very insightful for you to give that perspective. So if you're saying what Diddy did to Usher or what Diddy did to Bieber, that we've seen these videos, not necessarily what he did, but the stories where he's living with them at 13. If he was their mentor, who was Diddy's mentor? We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names.
Well, number one was Clyde Davis. I walked in Jimmy's office. I didn't have to knock on the door or get somebody let Jimmy know Mr. Night there. Walk right in. He do the same. Anyway, when he walked in my office, we was having a conversation. He overheard somebody say something he probably shouldn't have heard. He wanted to holler at me. So I tell the homies, give me a minute. Jimmy said, man, I'm here because Clyde Davis called me, and him and Puffy is real tight, and, love us. So I thought he was talking like they got love for each other. So, all right. He said, yeah, they are lovers. I said, well, why you keep saying that? I said, look, you saying they lovers like they're sucking? He said, I don't want to say that, but that's what it means, right? I said, okay. He said, Clyde don't want nothing to happen to Puffy. He said, but this guy ain't going to be able to do this business because we know what he did. What they did.
I opened up myself to the possibility of a person rather than a gender. I have never stopped being attracted to women. So we're now dealing with a subject of bisexuality. This subject is very misunderstood because the old adage is you're either gay, you're straight, or you're lying. It's just not.
What sets this apart? 2 things. First, the sheer scale. If 50 Cent sources check out, this isn't just a handful of shady encounters. It's decades of manipulation with fame dangled like bait and silence bought through fear. Second, the names tied to it. Will Smith, once the untouchable icon. Diddy, the mogul whose empire spanned music, fashion, and beyond. And Clive Davis, the legendary kingmaker who helped mold modern pop itself.
Thank you. Now let's get to a few of this morning's other big headlines.
Starting with a bombshell announcement amid the mounting lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, Houston rapper 50 Cent announced yesterday that he's the executive producer of a docu-series about the sexual assault and allegations against Combs. The series will also discuss the sex trafficking and racketeering charges Combs is facing. The series is expected to make a premiere on Netflix, but a date has not yet been set.
Yeah, and you know what? I think a lot of people thought that 50 was just trolling, and if anyone follows 50 on Twitter or Instagram, you know, he's no stranger to that. He definitely, you know, engages in trolling and makes a lot of jokes. So when he had, you know, repeatedly taken shot after shot after shot at Diddy and then said, hey, I'm working on a documentary, I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie and TV studio, and he's made a bunch of really successful projects under that banner. They were actually selling it around to different streaming, organizations, including Netflix. Netflix ultimately had the most money, placed the winning bid, and at some point here in the future, we don't know exactly when, but this is actually going to be something that airs on Netflix.
So it's not like he hate Diddy, but you know, sometimes niggas might do that we don't know about.
Well, for him to make the documentary, I think he hates Diddy.
Nah.
Nah?
That's business.
That's just business?
Business. You wouldn't be mad. Look,
you gotta really dislike someone to do a documentary about him.
If Jimmy Iovine did the documentary, would people say he's mad at Diddy?